Okay, everyone. So let's talk. So last module, we talked about the basics of a walk cycle, doing a simple walk cycle, a more regular walk cycle, and an advanced walk cycle. And for homework, you guys were just creating a walk cycle for a simple stick figure or a mannequin type character, one that doesn't really have a lot of detail. Your new lab is doing the same thing, but this time applying it to a more sophisticated character. Okay. You can choose any kind of character you want. I chose a squirrel for mine. I recommend you choose a biped, meaning like something that walks on two legs. I think dealing with four legs like a horse or something is just kind of a pain right now. So I'd choose something, even if it's like an alien or a mummy or something, or like I don't know, let's say it's a dog. Maybe you want it to walk like a human, kind of like how Bugs Bunny or Porky Pig walk the way that humans walk, just to make it easier on yourself. And you're going to create a walk cycle, okay? And so I'm going to talk about kind of some advice I would give. So when I started mine, the very first thing I did was creating like a wireframe. These are just simple stick figures, And if you're wondering why there's two different colors, the blue represented the back, in this case, it would be the left side of the character. And the red ones represent the ones in front of the character. Now, the reason why I did it is when I draw, I actually drew the arm the whole way, even if the arm in the end got blocked, just because when I draw, it's just easier to draw the whole thing as opposed to drawing part of it. And so you can see for each character, I kind of drew, where are the legs, where are the arms. Okay. Then what I did is use that as a reference. So you can see, how, I eventually moved it over a little bit, and I might move it back, but you can see how it's like the legs and everything are following the arm movements here. Okay, so it's just creating a simple stick figure, using it as a reference point. Okay, make sure you consider things like height. So we talked about like, let me turn this off. When you work, make sure, see on the recoil, he comes down a little bit in terms of the height. I used these little guidelines here to help me. So, I set it up. So obviously the next one, he's got to be a little bit lower, right? And the high point, he's got to be a little bit higher. It's the highest point, right? So it's like just using tools within the program to help you a little bit. You can always resize too, just by clicking, highlighting and resizing it just to resize it slightly. All right, so then you may also want to consider a secondary action. So I have my character walking. I may actually end up adding, I kind of want to add a shirt to him for some reason, but kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks or something. But I also added a tail. So this is kind of like a secondary action, so you can kind of watch as it, it bounces up and down as he walks. So it's just a secondary action to help make him a little more animated. I didn't do the greatest job on it. To be honest, I was a little bit rushed on this demo, and if I had some more time, like if this is the only thing I was doing in my life, I would probably go back and tidy it up, but I'm going to be honest, I just don't have the time at the moment. But, I kind of added it there, and I sketched it out. Then what you can do if you're going to repeat your frames, the easiest thing I would recommend, so, do all 8 points. To do the reverse, I actually find that pretty easy. So what I did is I basically just kind of copied it and pasted it as a copy so that it's independent. And then I just kind of redrew the lines. So it's like, if this is in the front, well, the back is the same. This comes up and this gets hidden and, reverse for the arms and legs. So actually doing the first 4 poses was the longest. And then doing the reverse poses was actually pretty simple because I just kind of did a copied and paste. Now that's going to make it look a little repeaty. If you want to spend the time to draw it a little differently, go for it. It'll look a little more fluid, but this is just ways of saving a little bit of time. And then what I did, so here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are the poses. And then what I did is copy them, and then I pasted them. And I pasted them and not as a copy. And the reason why I did that is in case, you know, I repeated it a couple of times here to cycle it. So the reason I pasted is just in case I want to make some changes. So let's say I come in here and go, oh, you know, this line's a little too thick. I want to come in here and just kind of, you know, tidy up a little bit the line. Not only will it affect this particular drawing here, but it should affect where it's copied again, which should be about there. So it's like, you know, when you affect one, you affect all of them, or all the copies of that one particular frame. So that's why I did it, because it's a cycle. You kind of probably want each, you know, I'm just kind of I can touch everything up at once, which is much easier. Okay, so those are just recommendations. This is how I did mine. After I was finished, I colored it. Oops, why can't I? There we go. Not the best paint job, but hey, you know, it's got something. And then I added some grass, just to give a sense that the character is moving. It also could have been something like, you know, it could have been a wall with a window, and the window moves or something, or, you know, whatever you'd like to do. So, for this assignment, you're choosing a character, whatever kind of character you want. You don't have to color it. I colored mine just to kind of show you. You know, you might want to do it just for your own sake. I'm not requiring it for this particular project, but, you know, you need at least to have the outlines like this. I would recommend putting some sort of background. It can be very simple. Just something that kind of shows, you know, movement. This could be like a window that moves, or a mountain that moves, or a rock. You know, it doesn't really have to be complicated. But just something that kind of, you know, shows the character in motion. If you watch old cartoons, you'll see that they always kind of repeat the background and it just kind of moves like this. You know, so it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Alright, so this will be due a week, Friday after next. Okay, so you're working on this, come up with a character, or you can reuse a character you've done before, and draw out at least the 8 poses, and then cycle them.